here with OnAir Podcast Studio.
Yes, sir.
We have a very, very special guest in the building.
Thank you.
My man, Angel Fernandez. What's up, Angel?
What's up,
How you
Yellow?
doing, man?
Good, brother. How are you?
Good, good.
Thanks for having me.
You do a lot in life, right? We're going to let you elaborate on, but it's kind of hard to catch you because you're so busy, right?
Yeah, bro.
Born and raised in Sealy?
Yeah,
right?
actually, I was raised in Sealy, born in Brawley, raised in Sealy, lived there until I was about 13, 14. Then moved out to South Central, went to Central. I'm a Spartan.
Right on, man. Bleed blue. Same
Yeah.
here, man.
Cool.
Class of like 2008, I bet, or something.
02.
Oh,
02.
yeah,
Yeah.
you
What
look
about
young,
you?
brother. Damn, 90s, baby. 97.
Well, you look young.
Time
too,
flies,
Daryl.
bro.
You look
30
young, too.
years coming soon, man. 30-year reunion, which is, it's a shame, but hey, we're still here, man.
Yeah,
We're looking
that's
pretty
the good
solid.
thing, man. We're still here.
We're hanging in there. So yeah, buddy. So I know you personally because of the you're a mover and shaker in the business world here locally, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to just touch on your business, if you don't mind.
Of course, man. Well, shit, at 17, I dropped out of high school, bro.
Mm,
I was reading sales books instead of history books while I was in high school.
really? Yeah.
So I always knew I wanted to be in sales. I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wasn't the best at taking directions, but I was really good at giving directions, bro. So I decided to start businesses at a very young age. And, I went through a lot of rough patches. I think first business was in the cell phone industry back in the day when that was the wave, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of been a gift of mine. I'm very observant. I'm always like seeing what's the new thing to do. And I'm always pivoting to that new thing while maintaining what I'm originally doing. So I started in the cell phone industry at a young age. At a very young age, I started going out to the Bay Area and I started seeing and learning about the cannabis movement. Do you know anything about that?
The canvas marketing?
Yeah, not just the cannabis movement
Oh,
in general.
cannabis. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the
bro.
industry.
Yeah, yeah. So here locally, it's been something that hasn't really taken off to the extent that it could, right?
Yeah.
Retail is happening, but it's still flourishing, right? Still,
Yes.
still building.
Yeah, because we're by the border, bro, right?
Yeah,
So there's
yeah.
a big federal presence here, and we're in a religious community. So those are two of the things that have kind of held it back,
Right.
like throughout the years.
Yeah.
The industry itself kind of sparked up in the Bay Area. No pun intended.
Mhm.
Sparked up in the Bay Area. Cities like Berkeley, San Francisco. That was kind of where it originally organically started to grow outward.
Yeah.
Started to grow outward into LA and San Diego, and kind of lastly here into the Imperial County. So we're actually one of the last counties to accept cannabis,
Mm.
but that created an opportunity for someone like myself,
Mhm.
and it allowed me to be in first position, be a first mover here in the county locally. So, I started getting interested in the cannabis industry in my early 20s and started kind of paying attention to it. So when the state started the legalization process, I wanted to make sure that I was
Right.
going to be able to capitalize on it.
Exactly. Yeah, man. So cannabis, you have 2 locations now, huh? Here locally?
2 locations locally. I have an Aroma in Winter Haven, and I have
Okay.
one in the outskirts of Calexico by the new border. I also have a third dispensary I'm a part of in Encinitas. It's called Siesta Life,
Siesta
right
Life.
by the beach, bro.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Nice.
unfortunately, I'm not there as much as I should be, huh?
Yeah, man, you're doing great, man.
Thank you.
Early on, I called you a unicorn in business here locally because there's not too many people like you, and you're probably not going to see this guy around too much because he's always busy. So this little session that you're offering us is greatly appreciated.
Of course, man.
So you do some great work on social media. You do a lot of content creation.
Yeah.
I would say you're pretty good in marketing, man. I teach marketing at the local community college, but instructors tend to become dinosaurs, right?
Yeah.
They don't really keep up to par with the youngsters that are
It's
learning.
hard
all
to
the
be an
systems.
instructor and a
Yeah,
student at the
yeah.
same time.
Exactly.
That's
yeah.
the
yeah.
part, right? When
Mhm.
you're teaching, it's kind of hard to be learning as well. You kind of get stuck in that teaching mode.
Yeah, it's repetitive and
Mhm.
it's comfortable, right? So what I try to do is I bring top talent into the classroom because I want to
Nice.
enrich the experience to the students. I don't want to cheat them out of a real classroom experience that'll stick with them.
Yeah.
So I try to tell them start a business now. Get out there and shake some hands and meet some people and
Yeah.
create a business plan and pitch it to people. Right?
Mhm.
Don't wait till you get your MBA, which was my situation.
Yeah.
I was a late bloomer in that regard because when you go to school, you tend to take your time.
Yeah.
But your situation was not like that. Now you
Not
had
at
to
all, bro.
dive in there.
Yeah, 18 years old, started my first business. Had a lot of failures along the way, brother, but looking back, right, those are very special moments, man. Once you grab a little bit of success, you start to really understand the quote about, it's all about the journey,
Mm.
right? Because it really is. Those are the moments that kind of stick with you. those pivotal moments where you wanted to kind of give up because it wasn't working the way you wanted it to work, but you heard the right information at the
Right.
right time, and that kind of
Yeah.
allowed you to just push it into the next gear. And once you hit that next gear, that's where you found the
Right.
success, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
those moments are the important ones, man.
Yeah.
Life is definitely about the journey, not just about the wins. The
Yeah.
losses, they matter just as much, man, because that's where you learn.
That's where you learn. Definitely. I mentioned to you earlier that I just started a business of my own at 46 years, right?
Congratulations, man.
A little thanks, man. A little coffee shop in the valley.
Yeah. It's never
But
too
like
late, Guillermo.
you
It's
mentioned it's
never too
never too
late,
late.
brother.
And I realized that creating, innovating is where life lives. Like you
100%.
you start a new chapter. You always have to create. You always have to pivot, like you
Yeah.
said, jump on
Yeah.
opportunities. A lot of people here locally are counting down the days, not to get out of jail, but retirement, right? They're
Yeah.
like, oh, another 5 years. And that's no life to live. I think you have to continue to apply pressure and create and innovate, in order to thrive in your later years in life, right? That's just a concept or philosophy that I'm trying to buy into
Yeah.
because I don't think I'll ever retire. I
Yeah.
want to work in my 60s and 70s. That's just something that sits with me, right? And I figured it's not a bad life to live in your later years working, as long as you love it, right?
That's
Yeah, as long as you
that's
love it,
the
dude.
part,
Yeah,
Guillermo. You
yeah.
have to really enjoy what you're doing, bro. And that's what a lot of people, don't do because it's risky,
Mhm.
right? It's risky to do something that you love because most of the time you're not going to get paid a lot for it at the beginning, right?
Right, yep.
But that's why you do it because you love it. And little by little, because of the love, it starts basically doing better, right? You start to do better at it, or you just start to thrive at it because you push past the hard moments.
Right?
And that's when a little bit of money starts to come in,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
So
exactly.
it's not easy to do. I would say it's easier to stay into the comfort zone, right? In the traditional markets, traditional education, traditional jobs where you're guaranteed a salary. But us entrepreneurs, we have a saying, right? Salary is what they pay you to give up on your dreams,
Mm,
right?
yes.
And the dreams, man, like that's where life lives. That's where God lives, right?
Mm,
Creating something that's
that's
not quite there.
funny. It's funny you say that because I think it's divine. It's from God.
Yeah.
God wants us to create, procreate.
Well, God was a creator
And
himself,
yeah,
right?
exactly. So that's a beautiful thing. So a lot of golden nuggets, dropping bombs here, right? That's one or two that you've already given to us. I appreciate it, man.
Just trying to keep it real, bro.
Yeah, dude. So, um, you mentioned how it's important to meet people and
Yeah.
always, not always say yes, but of course, if you could go ahead and lend a hand, by all means, do it because
Yes.
there's always going to be that situation where the more people you know, the better off you are, right? So
100%. The
there's
more
going to be a team,
connections you
yeah,
have, the more
networking.
things you're going to be connected to.
So that's what I'm
Great.
realizing right now. I'm saying yes to a lot of things,
Good.
right? To the podcast, to helping people out. Whereas,
Yes.
previously I'd be like, what is it? What's in it for me, right?
Yeah.
What's a monetary return?
Yeah.
Is it going to be worth my time?
Yeah.
But young folks have to really get with the program and really start meeting people again because they're on their cell phones,
Yeah.
right? They're buried on their phone.
Yeah.
When I teach at IBC, no one talks to each other, right? They're just kind of texting,
Yeah.
looking at, they're scrolling away,
Yeah.
and they're missing opportunity. Maybe the
Yeah.
person next to them might have a business venture that they could collaborate on,
Yeah.
right? So I think that's like kryptonite to the youth, the technology,
Yeah.
because they don't have the soft skills that we do. It's innate. It's kind of in your DNA.
Yeah.
You're good at communicating,
Yeah.
and
I'm
you
a little
exercise it.
older,
Yeah, and
so
you exercise it. Yeah, yeah, you exercise it a lot, and you apply yourself. So
I just give myself the freedom, brother.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
not much more than that, right? I give myself the freedom to express myself.
right.
Where some people might think a little too much and start to create walls for themselves. I don't. If I have an idea, like I'll exercise it.
Yeah, yeah,
If I have a thought, I'll express it. And it might not be a perfect thought, right? I'm not gonna say that I'm always right, but it's honest, and that's the most important part, bro. Being honest with who you are.
yeah.
Not everyone's gonna like you, and that's okay. But what you're gonna start to do is kind of find your own tribe, find the
Mhm.
people that start to connect with you, right? So
Right,
that's
right.
that's what we do when we express ourselves freely.
Exactly. So you dropped by this morning, right? So I appreciate your time. Eric Swain here at Swain Bros and
Yeah.
OnAir Podcast
This is a
Studio.
nice studio, by the
Yeah,
way,
yeah,
huh?
it's
I
pretty
like
chill,
this.
right? Yeah, it makes you feel at home.
I'm gonna be back, bro.
So yeah, this is an open space for everybody to come in and share ideas or I feel as if I'm blessed to be part of the team here to get the word out and that we exist here in El Centro, right off of Imperial Avenue, across from Burgers and Beer,
Yeah.
right behind Cabos. Cabos, by the way, we're going to host an event this Saturday, and periodically once a month. We're gonna have a cars and coffee event
Yeah.
and also a cafeton, 2 in 1. So
You guys already had one of those, right?
yeah, we
Cafeton?
had about 3 at my coffee shop location, which is inside of 413 Fitness off
Uh-huh.
La Brucherie in Nayton. But this one is gonna be at Cabo Modern Kitchen, right on the strip, right? If we have a strip. I don't know if you could call it a strip here in the
No,
valley.
Imperial Avenue is the
Doesn't
strip, bro. It
yeah, it
goes
doesn't
from the
get
freeway all the way through Imperial.
yeah,
It's the
dude.
main drag.
Yeah, it doesn't get better, man. You know, we all know burgers and beer.
Yeah.
Right across the street, there's a nice patio that's underutilized. So what we're gonna do is take that over, right? We're gonna have a group of gals do some Pilates, I should say. That's a trend, right? Pilates
Mhm.
at 9 o'clock, and then around 10 o'clock, we have the car enthusiasts show up, and you're you were so kind to bless us with your ride,
Of
right?
course,
I
man.
don't know
Of
if you want
course.
to mention, what you got going
Oh,
nowadays.
man,
in your
it's just a
little
little humble Lamborghini Urus,
oh,
bro.
right.
Black
Yeah,
on
yeah,
black. Yeah, I finally decided to kind of treat myself again, going back to the same sticking points, right? The exposing myself.
yeah.
In the valley, no one really drives around a Lamborghini, but I wanted to buy something that motivated me and
Mm,
also motivates other people,
right.
right? So there's a bunch of kids walking around there in Pearl Valley. They're 13, they're
Mhm.
12 years old, and when they see a Lamborghini Urus driving by, they get proximity to it, and
Proximity.
proximity is
Yeah.
power, and it
Yeah,
gives them the
exactly.
power to think that it's possible,
It's
man.
possible. Yeah, exactly, dude.
Yeah, so that was one of the reasons I went in and made that investment per se.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man.
It's an investment in myself and in others, man. So yeah,
Yeah,
nice
yeah,
cool car. It has
yeah.
a stage 4 tuning in it. So
Right,
it's
right.
it's loud, it's powerful, man. I'm enjoying it
Heck yeah,
very
man.
much,
Yeah,
brother.
that's a beast underneath that hood, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
But it's a family car, right? And that was
exactly.
why I bought it. I was like, "Oh, it's a family car."
Yeah, yeah, I've never seen a Lambo that's, for a 5-seater or
Yeah.
whatnot. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty nice, brother.
Yeah.
I
Thank you.
appreciate it, man. So
Thank
you
you.
guys might see
And
some
I gave you a
yeah,
ride, right?
heck yeah, dude. I was like, "Chill out, bro." Like, I'm not one of those guys that love to punch it, man. So, yeah,
Guillermo
I
was
was like
nervous.
I was
Guillermo was
like I was like
nervous,
pinching it,
guys.
right? It's like
I
yeah,
watched him. He grabbed onto
yeah.
his seat, but
Mhm. But yeah, so I appreciate you showing up. We did some video work with your ride.
yeah.
So you guys might see some work that we did on social media. So I appreciate that, dude.
Yeah, thank you,
I
man.
know you're gonna join us next event.
Yes.
So yeah, we're looking forward to that. Cars and coffee, cafeton is another concept that is trending. So we're gonna have a coffee party, right? So a daytime drink, a day drink session, right? So us adults that are, family men or women, we tend to drink a bit earlier if you do partake in it,
Because we get
right?
tired late
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
Like we
yeah. We
can't
start
stay up
yawning
till
at 4 or
11,
5.
12 no more, bro. We're in bed by
Yeah,
that
yeah.
time.
So if you don't like alcohol, we'll have coffee on deck, but that'll happen this Saturday and periodically, at least once a month. So
It's cool.
look out for that. Is there any other things going on in your life? Other projects?
So I created a digital marketing company.
Okay.
This is within the last 6 to 8 months. It's called Digital Money Stacks, right?
All right on.
We focus on content creation and basically learning and teaching all the latest information and data about how to market effectively on social media, brother.
Mm,
So that's kind of been my focus lately. That's where I've been investing my time and my money in taking classes where I'm gathering the information of what's working and what's not working right now. Because, print marketing isn't what it used to be. People are driving and they're no longer looking up at the billboards. They're kind of
right.
scrolling while they're
Yeah,
driving
yeah, yeah,
nowadays.
exactly.
It's not quite legal, but they're doing it.
Mhm.
And, even when they watch TV, I don't know if you have teenagers around you, but
Yeah.
they're watching TV, but 90% of their attention is still on their phone.
Mm,
So, I've been a little bit more focused in learning how I can capitalize on that opportunity because I see it as a blue ocean, meaning a space that hasn't been overcrowded yet, right? Because a red ocean is when there's way too many sharks in the water. But content creation, especially here locally, there's a lot of opportunity in it, man. And
mm,
that's also why I wanted to come down and check out this podcast studio.
yeah.
There's a lot of opportunity here, brother, for Mr.
Yeah.
Sway.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I appreciate it, man. I'm gonna learn a lot from you. Hopefully, I could eventually classify you as a mentor of sorts, man.
Oh man.
But yeah,
Stop
yeah,
it,
no, for
Guillermo.
sure, dude. These textbooks only take you so far. The
Yeah.
publishers that are 5 years dated or whatnot. So
Yeah.
you got to be in the forefront of digital marketing.
Yeah.
We all think that
Yeah.
AI is going to be appealing because it's a low cost
Mhm.
approach to having content that you desire that you can't afford. But
Yes.
quite honestly, most people are tired of that already, and they're moving on to the next. They want to see interviews. They want to see real people talk, with their deficiencies or whatnot. They don't want to see the polished gem, and
Yeah.
sometimes
People want
AI,
to see
yeah,
authenticity right now.
authenticity. You mentioned that earlier, bro. So I'm struggling with that with my little coffee brand. Like, should I dip dip into the whole AI marketing? Should I go ahead and, like you say, do the old school approach and print flyers? But that just only takes you
Yeah.
so far. So yeah, Angel, I appreciate your time, brother.
Of course, man.
So it's hard to catch you, right? You're everywhere, brother. Like the unicorn of business here locally, man. It's kind of hard to see you. So you're here for the moment. You blessed us with some golden gems
No,
and tips.
thanks for the invite, bro.
Yeah,
This is a dope ass little podcast studio, and I plan on being back here. As a matter of fact, if you're a content creator, man, check out the podcast studio. Dope space. Mr. Swain here, he's on the switchboards making it happen, chopping everything down as he should for pretty affordable price, man. On Air Podcast Studio, man. It's pretty dope, brother. Thanks for the invite.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming through, Doc.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, man.
All right, Guillermo.